Virginia parents are facing backlash for speaking out against critical race theory, while one of our next guests was interviewed about the controversial curriculum by Fox News. Look behind her. A neighbor walking behind her holding up her two middle fingers. This, as a Facebook group called Anti-Racist Parents of Loudoun County, is accused of targeting parents who are anti-CRT. Here with more are three parents from Loudoun County, Virginia. We have Jessica and Fred and Patti. Patti's the president of the Loudoun County Republican Women's Club. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Patti, I know you were on our panel when I was down there in your area talking about opening up the schools, and now
Yes.
in your county, y'all are talking about critical race theory. What does the school district want to do?
So, because of the lockdown of COVID, we found out what our kids are learning at home. So we're looming over their screens, and we started to see that the teachers are implementing this racially division, this equity training, and we decided, you know what, it's time for us to go to the school board meetings and ask them what this curriculum is about.
Okay, and Jessica, we saw the video, your neighbor across the street doing that. Why did she do that to you? And she used to be a friend of yours, right?
Yeah, I considered her a friend. Some other parents and I were asked to be interviewed about critical race theory, so I had a crew out to my house. And I was explaining a personal story about how some of my family members had criticized me for speaking up. And Matt turned off the camera and asked me what was up with my neighbor because she was flipping me off while I was talking. I was shocked that anyone would behave that way, let alone someone I considered a friend. I couldn't believe it that she chose to do that over my friendship, and that's what hurts the most. I mean, communities are divided, and that's what critical race theory does. It divides us into categories, like the color of our skin and our religion.
Fred, what do you say? Because I know that what is your family saying to you, and what is your argument against people who say, if you're not for critical race theory, then you're racist?
So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
I think CRT at its best is divisive. It teaches my biggest problems are that CRT ignores the role of black Africans in the slave trade. CRT ignores the role of abolitionist whites in anti-slavery in the United States and in Europe. CRT ignores the role of Christianity and Islam in the slave trade. It just simply says, if you're white, you have this guilt and this association with something that's bad that happened to this other group that is black, and if you're black, you've been dealt a bad hand because of this. It's a futile argument that should have been left in Europe 700 years ago to give somebody the debts of their parents, their ancestors that they never even knew.
And your family says, this is not a good look. Don't get involved in this argument. Why do they say that?
Yeah, it's that associating myself or saying, Fred, you have cogent arguments. Yeah, but you should not sit next to or ally yourself with those people, meaning rich, white, suburban Republican women. I will ally myself with 10,000 of them if they are on the right side of this issue.
Jessica, is this worth it to you? I know your children obviously live in your house, and you have neighbors right across the street flipping you off.
It's absolutely worth it to me. You know, I have two little girls, a kindergartner and a second grader, you know, and I made a choice. I made a choice to stand up and do the right thing and fight for what is right and make my family proud.
Patti, there's this Facebook page, a group criticizing y'all. Say it's an anti-racist parents of Loudoun County Facebook group. What are they saying about you?
It's really funny. They blacklisted me and called me racist. The irony in that is my parents escaped communist Cuba in 1961. I know what socialism looks like, and it's not a free society. It's not free speech. What this Loudoun County School Board is doing is implementing a curriculum behind parents' you know, we have no knowledge of what's happening. And we've gone to school boards to ask. We've asked for a town hall. They won't listen to us. So what I decided to do is partner with Liberty Justice Center, and we've got a lawsuit against the Loudoun County School Board.
Fred, what is happening in our country where if you speak out and the majority of the neighbors disagree with you, you're canceled?
Yeah, it's really troubling. And first of all, let me just say that I know that Loudoun County public school teachers. I know several of them. They work hard. I know that many of the school board members have our children's best interests at heart. But let's talk about this thing. We cannot function in a society where if you oppose or if you want to get an idea of what somebody else is doing, then you're automatically, it goes to the extreme. We have to be able to communicate with each other and talk and have an open dialogue. I want to say, let's look at critical race theory, examine it, use a scientific method, let our children understand it and decide, do they believe this, or do they believe that this is the greatest opportunity, bastion of opportunity in the world, and it was founded based on religious freedom and had a horrible period of slavery? Or is it an irredeemably bad place that has dealt you and your friends a bad hand? Let's talk about it. Our children are smart. I don't want this to be one extreme left thing or extreme right.
That's education, right? Giving them all sides, every story, and then they can decide. Thank you all so much for fighting for this and for coming on.
ITM.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
We reached out to Loudoun County Public Schools for comment. We did not hear back. So thanks to Jessica and to Fred and to Patti. We appreciate it. It is now 6:48 here on the East Coast.